Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Afternoon Tune. I'm your host, Josh, and with me are my two co-hosts.
It's your boy, Chayse.
And it's your boy, Nick.
And we got a nice packed show for people today. Got some good news topics that dropped over the week. We finally have a title for Spiderman 3. After kind of a day or two of them messing with us, we finally got a title for that. We finally have a Blue Beetle movie that's going to come out. So that's pretty exciting from DC. Avatar is going to be coming out with some more content. We're going to be talking about that. Ta-Nehisi Coates is going to be writing a Superman film produced by Abrams. We're going to be talking about that. Just predictions of where we see the property going, what they're going to do with the Superman character. They're going to bring back Henry Cavill, things like that. We also got a good amount of reviews for you all people today. We're going to be discussing Tom and Jerry, which dropped on HBO Max. We're going to be discussing The United States versus Billie Holiday, which is the Hulu film. We're going to be discussing as well Superman and Lois, which is the new CW show, part of the Arrowverse. And we're going to be discussing, of course, like we always do every week, WandaVision, the newest episode 8. How's everybody doing?
Doing all right. It's been a busy week, but can't complain, you know. How about you, Nick?
It's been good. It's been a busy week, just busy with school and allergy season here in Japan. So every time I sneeze, I always get dirty looks on the train.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, I can't even imagine trying to commute during the pandemic because I have allergies too. So every time you sneeze, everybody's just turning to you like, you got that shit, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Like you're just infected. Huh?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
And you can't even blame them, you know? Because
Right.
you would do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's like I half expect to turn over, and I already see them in hazmat suits, katanas drawn.
Yeah.
do people in Japan, do they wear the mask? Like, do they wear them over the nose, or do they go dick nose with it?
No, they wear it properly. They
Oh,
wear
okay.
it right, because most people who wear masks aren't idiots.
Now here's the real question. Do they take their mask off to sneeze? Because that has been the most annoying thing I've ever seen. Every time I go outside, which is very rare, I see somebody ready to sneeze and they take their mask down. And I'm just like, you're defeating the purpose. That's not why you have the mask on.
Do they sneeze into their arms or no?
No.
I'm fucking done.
No, they don't. They don't sneeze into their arms.
Oh,
They sneeze straight into
done.
the public
fuck.
air for the world to sniff,
Mhm.
which defeats the entire purpose of having a mask. So please, if you do have allergies, or you think you might have La Ronas, and you're wearing a mask, bring multiple masks so you can sneeze into the one mask, change that out, the new mask. That's what you're supposed to be doing. But over here we haven't quite adjusted to mask wearing yet.
in terms of mask wearing, America is essentially the short bus.
And you just don't know what's going on here, and so we just gotta rely on the vaccine.
Yeah, have you gotten it? I know.
Nah, I'm too young.
Not yet.
Okay. Well, I mean, you could be a frontline essential worker. You could be that as well.
Not in my industry. My industry is not that important.
Yeah. So I haven't gotten it either. There's places. Do you think the information on where to get the vaccine is good enough? Do you think it's like, do you have a good understanding of where you can get it and schedule an appointment and everything like that?
No, I haven't really looked too much into it because, I mean, granted, I already know I'm not going to be able to qualify for it till later in the year, maybe, hopefully later in the year, hopefully, if we can get the distribution right for everybody who currently qualifies. But you know, from what I heard, it's not the hardest thing in the world. And I'm talking for Jersey. I can't speak for the rest of the country.
Well, yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, here in Chicago, I think there's a good understanding of, like, at least, people telling you, like, you go to here and then you can get it and then schedule an appointment and line up to take a shot. I haven't done that, anything like that. Just don't think I'm priority at the moment, since I'm not. I mean, I work at night, so I'm not around any customers or anything like that, and I go home. So I'm not really. I don't think I'm really a priority or anything like that. So, and it's not mandatory for people to take it or anything like that. So, I don't know if in Nick's situation. Do you think it'll be eventually mandatory? Maybe eventually, probably when it happens.
I think eventually it could end up becoming mandatory, but as of right now, it's entirely voluntary for the base I work out.
Okay. Yeah, and now there's a new one that dropped from Johnson & Johnson, so they got their own ones now. That job. So new vaccine drop.
That's great.
Yeah. They got
we love a vaccine DLC.
Yeah.
No, I can't wait. I can't wait to see for like the vaccine to eventually drop on StockX.
Yeah.
Yo, I got this vaccine, dead stock.
Yeah. People's gonna be selling syringes on.
Yo, I already heard about a story in China where
get your Supreme syringe.
Oh my god, dude! I already heard a story in China where they busted this one dude that was selling fake vaccines. That shit is crazy to me. And it took them like a month or two to figure it out, like that he was fake. That he was just putting water in there and shooting people up with water.
Wow. Jesus. You got people hustling, man. They gotta hustle.
Yeah, he was hustling, all right.
Respect the hustle.
Nah, fuck that hustle though. That's dangerous hustle.
I mean, he's shooting people up with water. It's not like he's shooting people up with something dangerous.
He's shooting people up with false hope though. That's the problem.
Is he at least using like clean needles, or is he just like?
Nah, he probably just uses the same needle on everybty.
I wouldn't even be surprised. If he's using water as the for the dosage, I can't imagine him having too many needles around. It's probably so. But yeah, that
cool. So instead of the vaccine, you're getting water and aid.
So yeah, definitely look up and look into the vaccine that you get. Make sure that you get one of the FDA approved one. No, not FDA. CDC that approves them. I don't know. I'm not in.
CDC.
The ones
CDC,
that get approved.
approved.
Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson now, which I think just got approved, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Go for those joints. If you see any sketchy shit, just run away.
Yeah, don't buy a photo of the vaccine on eBay or fucking whatever.
Yeah, and even when you do get the vaccine, please wear a mask regardless. Just for solidarity.
Yeah. Keep your fucking mask on.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people who assume, like, when this vaccine was coming out, that it just was gonna be the end all be all, that life can just return to normal.
It's gonna go away. It's gonna go away. Like things go away.
Not at all.
Everybody takes it, and then we can all hang around with the family again, and that's it. It's gonna be easy peasy.
Like, motherfucker, half the country thinks vaccines cause autism.
Yeah. No, we're in for the long haul. I've accepted that this thing might stay a problem for the next 3 years.
3 years. Wow.
And I am mentally prepared for it.
Wow. 3 years. Yeah. It's about to be March.
God.
It definitely lasts until the end of this year.
It's 1 year, 1 year anniversary of our 2-week lockdown.
Because even with the new prez, we're as a country, we are so stupid I don't have high hopes for us recovering anytime soon.
Yeah.
So I'm going with the worst case scenario. You know, it is what it is. We will just have to stick through it for the next couple of years.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, wearing a mask isn't. I mean, I barely wear it anyway. I mean, I wear it when I go out, and then okay, that's it, and that's for a little bit, and then I come home. So it's barely a big deal, really.
I kind of fuck with it now, though. Not gonna hold you, because like in the winter, like wearing a mask is the move. You know what I'm saying? Because like it blocks out all the cold. You know, you got your nose and whatnot covered.
Yeah. Keeps you warm. Yeah.
Yeah. But.
Yeah. I kind of want to get some of them custom masks. People be messing with the custom masks, which is nice. You know, put the little creativity designs on it. You know, which is nice. You know, I just wear the basic looking one. You know, I don't put.
You gonna get a Nico Low mask?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Nico Lolas. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
You know, if she started selling them, you know, I support women of color. I know you don't support women of color, but
okay. All right. Let's move on.
Let's get to these reviews before we have to stage a whole ass intervention again.
Yeah.
But let's get into some of this news. So to first start off with, we're going to discuss the Blue Beetle movie. Blue Beetle is coming out. DC superhero. I'm surprised. I mean, he's kind of the Blue Beetle character. My exposure to the character mostly comes from like Young Justice, things like that. The Justice League, the animated cartoon stuff. I've never read a comic of the Blue Beetle. I don't know if any of you guys have. But one of the most famous Blue Beetles is Jamie Reyes. And I remember he had a whole arc in Young Justice with him. It was also Static Shock character. He was also there. I don't know if anybody remembers that arc from that show, but he was also involved in it pretty heavy. So more than 2 years, this is via Sci-Fi Wire here. It says more than 2 years after the project was first announced, DC's Blue Beetle movie has landed the director. The Wrap reports that Angel Manuel Soto, director of the acclaimed 2020 indie hit Charm City Kings. Has anybody seen that movie, Charm City Kings? I haven't heard of it myself, but he's going to be directing it, which will be the first on the DC Films roster to star a Latino superhero. Go ahead. Somebody.
No, we're just happy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, excitement. Okay, all right, great. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's very good. I personally haven't read much of Jamie Reyes. Like I said, I mostly know him from the cartoons and things like that. I think it's great they are doing a movie about the character because I do like the character. I wonder if they're going to do the whole passing the kind of the mantle down, because Blue Beetle is kind of one of those characters like Ant-Man, for instance, where multiple people have had the suit of Blue Beetle. Where it's something where the Blue Beetle technology was created and then a person wore it and then the person died and then it passed on to another person. It's kind of like almost like this symbiote type thing where it attaches to a person and it's like this kind of weaponry that responds to a person's thoughts in a way. So what do you guys think about the project?
I'm hyped for it. I mean, all I know about Blue Beetle is just straight from the Young Justice cartoon. So I can't really say too much. I don't know in particular who his main villains are, but I'm happy to learn more, and I'm happy that he's getting a chance to be adapted, you know? I don't think we've had a Latino superhero adapted yet, have we? It's not even... I know they announced that the Green Lanterns are coming, but...
Does Jared Leto's Joker count?
No, absolutely the fuck.
Okay, I'm excited for this. I think Blue Beetle, he's a really cool character to adapt, and there was a lot of different ways you can go with him. I'm glad fucking David Ayer is nowhere for this project, because we would have gotten fucking Cholo Blue Beetle, just stereotype.
Yeah.
I would have had like fucking like Beetle tattooed all over him.
Yeah.
That's just character design, you know?
to speak to your question about like Latino superheroes, have we ever had one on the big screen? I don't think we've ever had one on the big screen, especially not on the scale. If somebody can correct us, you can in the comments. Email us at theafternoon2@gmail.com there. I don't think there's ever been one on the big screen. I've seen some on the small screen, like for instance in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they had Ghost Rider and they had the Latino version of Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes. No connection to Jamie Reyes, completely different in Marvel. So they did have that character. They did have Yo-Yo that was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They did have, I don't know if did you all watch the X-Men show that was on Fox that was also got premiered? The Gifted, yes. There was a Latino X-Men, well, not X-Men, but a Latino mutant that they followed in that show for most part of it. So no, I don't think we've ever had one where it's been a big screen debut.
Yeah, I mean, the only other characters I could think of that should get movies are the Green Lanterns.
Green Lantern. Well, they are doing a TV show.
Which I heard about that. Yeah,
which is coming on HBO Max. Hopefully, they put a lot of money into it, like what Marvel is doing with like their TV shows, like with Falcon and Wanda and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait to hear more plot details from this. Right now, they just kind of seems like they just tapped the director for this. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty good. I think we're all, like we always said, we're all very excited for it. So
yeah, because he's a charming character. He's a funny guy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing a lighter toned DC movie.
Yeah, let's give Zolo Maridueña from Cobra Kai a call for when that eventually kicks off.
Oh, yeah,
that'd be tough. That'd be tough.
Yeah, that'd be really good casting. Yeah. He'd be a perfect choice, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So more with DC news, we have Ta-Nehisi Coates, who's going to be writing Superman. It's also the J.J. Abrams produced Superman, which is the big news that also came out about it. Ta-Nehisi Coates, acclaimed writer, journalist. He's also written some comics himself. Very great runs I hear of Black Panther, Captain America. Has anybody ever read his works from the comics? Black Panther run, Captain America run?
I have not.
I don't think so.
Okay. But yeah, so he, very, very acclaimed guy. A lot of people really, really love his work. And J.J. Abrams was originally supposed to come out with a Superman movie, not like in the early 2000s. It was called Superman Fly By. And then
he was one of the guys who was initially tapped for a Superman reboot, while what eventually would become Superman Returns stuck in development hell.
Yeah. So that got so Bryan Singer's Superman Returns basically got put out instead of Superman, J.J. Abrams' Superman Fly By. So as Coates, this is via The Hollywood Reporter. It says the acclaimed author and journalist known for his nonfiction work concerning African Americans, the beautiful struggle between the world and me. We were 8 years in power, an American tragedy. Carved out a space in the world of superheroes as the ongoing writer of Black Panther and Captain America for Marvel Comics. Together, Coates and Abrams have the opportunity to extend DCEU's lens and its ever-growing multiverse. So with Coates, with his works, especially with his work on race in America, that's kind of primarily what his work focuses on, writing about things of that nature. A lot of people assume that we're kind of going to get maybe a Black Superman out of this. What do you all think about the possibility of having a Black Superman? And do you just think maybe it's just a thing where they can just throw in like a multiverse Superman? Because I don't think Henry Cavill has been kicked out. I think he just signed a new deal saying he's still going to be Superman. So I don't know if what they're really going to do, if they're going to just do a multiverse thing. But you guys, about the possibility of a Black Superman, what do you think?
I just want a good Superman on screen. I don't because and I like Henry Cavill's look as the traditional Superman, but I wouldn't mind if they did cast a Black Superman. I do know that there are runs in comics where there is like a Black Superman. I forget his name. I can't remember his name right now. Yeah. But he is from Krypton, if I'm not mistaken. So I do wonder, like, from his standpoint as a writer, how he could kind of, because not only now would you make this Superman an alien, but he's also black as well. So now that adds an extra layer to his difference, or you know what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So I do think that extra layer written by him potentially could make this movie better. But we will have to see. I just want a Superman that can, be human again, that actually smiles, that is is actually like a charming, charismatic character, rather than just a brooding force of nature. So I hope that they bring that human side of Superman back, and that's all I can ask. I mean, I'm still critical of J.J. Abrams, especially after into Star Wars and Star Trek. But learning about who's writing it, maybe they can sort of steer this in the right direction. And JJ does do good. He does do a good job on rebooting stuff. He has a good eye for nostalgia, so it'll definitely probably feel like the Superman that we grew up with, rather than the cold man that Snyder made.
To respond to your question about you forgot his name, Calvin Ellis is his name.
Ellis? Okay.
Yeah, and he is a Kryptonian. He's a president of the United States on a different Earth in the comics. He's based on Barack Obama.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
Yeah.
So who do you get to play him? Do you get Kingsley Benadir, or do you get Jordan Peele?
They're probably gonna. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to cast Michael B. Jordan. I've already accepted that that's probably the most likely pick.
Yeah, that's what everybody. People know like 3 black men. So it's either if it's not Michael B. Jordan, it's Idris Elba. If it's not Idris Elba, it's Denzel Washington. So people know like 3 black people. Nick, what's your thoughts?
I haven't really read a lot of runs with Calvin Ellis as Superman, but again, I got to read a little bit of sorry, I'm blanking
Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Ta-Nehisi Coates. I got to read a couple of his issues of his Black Panther run, and I was really impressed, and also his Captain America. And I'm curious more than anything to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
Because you have this guy in Zack Snyder who just fundamentally misunderstands what Superman is about. And say what you will, I kind of feel like J.J. Abrams is a guy who is more suited to this as far as producing.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's.
Do you think that he's going to be dual? He's going to do director and producer, or do you think they'll get somebody else to come in and be the director?
Say that depends on how much of the Rise of Skywalker situation comes out, because that obviously was a very tumultuous production, and I would imagine that a guy like Abrams, he had more or less had his hands tied behind his back by Disney and by Kathleen Kennedy. So I'd be curious if he's willing to be that involved with another project on that scale again.
Yeah, I don't.
As far as directing goes.
I don't know this. I don't know if I want to hand him the keys anymore to any more franchises, but I won't be mad if it does come out that he's directing. I just hope that I just hope that it's decent, man. That he has a good eye for nostalgia. He stays very much to like, he's very, I don't want to call him cookie cutter, but like he doesn't try to do too much, so it'll be a solid film, I feel like.
He makes very good 4-quadrant films.
Whatever that means. Yeah, sure.
he makes fun, entertaining blockbusters for fun, entertaining PG-13 blockbusters.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm very interested in the project. I don't know if they are going to do a Black Superman or what they are going to do. If they do it, I guess, I don't know, interesting, I guess, depending on what they do. Ta-Nehisi Coates, very good writer from all I hear, very, very acclaimed. So Nick floated a good casting idea for Black Superman. He said Eli Gorey, who played Muhammad Ali in One Night in Miami. That'd be, I think, very good casting for him. Definitely fits the build of the character, more than likely. And I thought he was very, very good as that character. So depends on, what they want to do. I mean, we haven't heard any plot details yet of this. We just heard, he's writing for it. We haven't really heard anything else. So if, what's the situation going with Henry Cavill, everything like that. So it's all kind of a jumbled mess at this point of all the stuff that they're going to do. So, So, and this is coming after the news that Supergirl is going to be in the Flash film and she's going to be Latino, herself. So, yeah. So, it's coming off all these different news. All right. So, also going to discuss some more superhero news, this time coming from Marvel. So, Spider-Man 3 officially has a title after a day of them messing with people. Zendaya, Tom Holland, Zendaya, they're coming out with titles like Phone Home and things like that. So,
Spider-Man
the official
Homeless.
title, Homeless. So now the official title everybody knows is it's No Way Home. So that's the official title now of Spider-Man 3. That's as far as much as we all know. We just got some stills and just the title of the film. So it seems like he's, obviously going to be on the run from what happened in the last movie, his identity being outed by Mysterio, and so being broadcast to the world by J. Jonah Jameson. So now he's on the run with Ned Leeds and with Zendaya. And you see, he lost a lot of weight. The guy who plays Ned Leeds lost a lot of weight. So, I don't know if they're trying to prep him to become the Ned Leeds where he plays Hobgoblin in the comics. I don't know if they're trying to prep him for something like that. I don't know. But so, what do you all think of the title? Good title, bad title? Do you like them continuing going with the home theme of it? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm not mad at it, but I do think that there are more interesting titles that they just happen to throw away on the whiteboard. If you guys remember, or if you guys noticed.
Yeah.
And I think that those titles in themselves kind of hint at what's really going on potentially. So That's what I'm looking forward to.
So on the whiteboard in like the little teaser trailer they had for it, so you see Close to Home, you see Homeschooled, you see Wanna Go Home, Home Sweet Home, Home Worlds, Can't Find Home, Stay at Home, No Place Like Home, Home Alone,
Work from Home.
Yeah, Work from Home. They have Far From Home, but it's like cross that out. No, we already did that one. Can't do that again. Homesick. So when you say like they're teasing possibly with the stuff on the whiteboard, what do you mean by that?
Well, Home Worlds.
Home Worlds. So you think that's trying to lead into multiverse?
Maybe. I mean, we still have no full confirmation, and every time that Tom's asked about it, he kind of is ducking the question. But
every time that Tolan's ducking the question, Kevin Feige's ducking the questions.
Yeah. I mean, they've confirmed at least Jamie Foxx and the guy who played Doc Ock. So
Alfred Molina.
Yeah. So I feel like those confirmations enough, in them potentially playing their former characters. That's enough to kind of, and plus the Home Worlds title, that was enough to tease that this could be a Spider-Verse movie. So we'll see.
Nick?
I mean, I think the titles are kind of innocuous. They're just kind of all right, whatever. But I've kind of felt that way with the MCU Spider-Man titles in general. I mean, Homecoming, it kind of makes sense because this is the reboot of Spider-Man. We're bringing him back to high school, and What is the big event everyone looks forward to when you're in high school, and that's homecoming?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Far From Home, it made story sense because he's literally far from home. And it looks like they're keeping with that theme in this one, where Peter Parker is on the run after his identity being outed by Mysterio, which, thank God, at least in this early point of the marketing, they're focusing on that, which is what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. In the stills, it's not really much to go on. It's just the three of them kind of in this dark, kind of dungeonous place. And I mean, that's pretty much it so far that we've seen. When is this film coming out?
Christmas.
It's that Christmas.
Yeah.
It says only in movie theaters this Christmas. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see about that.
We'll see about that, Mr. Mouse.
Yeah. COVID may have some word with that. Yeah, we'll see. Because they still haven't even announced the new release date for Black Widow, have they?
Nah, no, they haven't.
Yeah. So
they might as well just drop that already.
Yeah.
Shit. Just put it on that fucking Premier Access. Fine.
Yeah. Would you pay $20 for Black Widow?
Absolutely not.
$15.
Absolutely not.
$10.
Nope.
Wow. Not even $10. Wow.
Nope,
clearly
not.
you don't support women. Okay. Clearly.
I guess not. If that is the sole bar for supporting women, then I guess not.
Yeah, you don't support women in superhero movies, I guess. Yeah. Wow. Never thought I'd see it. Wow. But yeah, so this is coming out. So it says only movies and Christmas. Yeah. So of course, I mean, we're all looking forward to this film, pretty much. I mean, yeah, we're all looking forward to it, and excited about it. So
I also wonder how many of those fake titles were just purely to mess with Tom Holland.
They were trying.
Spoil.
Yeah.
Tom Holland has a reputation for spoiling shit.
Yeah. It was like how people try to catch snitches. It's like they try to give them bad information to see if they'll go back and tell the person. I was like, well, let's see if let's give him. Let's say this gives him the title, and then let's say he'll run with it. And then
I mean, they're still shooting it, right?
It's like it's like Game of Thrones when Tyrion's trying to find out who ratted out Ned Stark.
So yeah, I mean, if they're still shooting it, for all we know, he genuinely might not know that this is a movie with the multiverse, and they haven't shot any of the scenes with Andrew or Toby. So, or yet.
Yeah. I remember stories around like Infinity War and Endgame. They gave Tom Holland a completely different script.
Yeah. They didn't shoot any of his like spoilery scenes till like after we were in the clear.
Give him shit.
I don't even think he knew he was dying.
Oh, wow.
So, they might have just told him, "Yay, let's just shoot this one take as a joke and let's see how far you can go with it."
So in this scene, Tony Stark is the one who died.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on from discussing Spider-Man news, going to discuss Avatar news. Big news that came out. This is via Variety. This is by today. Nickelodeon announced that the world of Avatar and the Legend of Korra is finally getting the content expansion that people who grew up watching the programs have been yearning for. With the establishment of Avatar Studios, the newly formed content division is designed to create original animated series and movies based on Avatar. And the first project under the studio banner is an original animated theatrical film to begin production this year. The output will debut on platforms including Paramount Plus, another streaming service that probably people are going to have to get, and on Nickelodeon's own linear and digital platforms and third-party platforms and in theaters. The original creators and executive producers have signed on to serve as co-chief creative officers of Avatar Studios. What do you guys think about this news? Are you excited about more Avatar? Where do you think there's more to? Do you think there's more to explore with the world?
Absolutely.
Okay, first off, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
because it looks like they're picking up back where they wanted to go before M. Night Shyamalan fucked it all up for them.
And Netflix too, because this is like a big fuck you to Netflix. Like this was the biggest fuck you to Netflix. Because I remember Nickelodeon even had a deal with Netflix too, right? Like that they were going to host a good chunk of their newer content on Netflix. But now I guess that's kaput because they fucked up the Avatar bag, and they kicked out the creators from doing that live action show. So I'm looking forward to it. I think what I would love to see, because I know everybody wants to see more of Aang and the gang, especially like the comics and stuff be adapted. And I know a lot of people want to see Kyoshi be adapted. What I want them to do so badly, I would love if they tried to do something like a I know you guys never seen it, but there's a show called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure where they pass on the mantle of the title JoJo to somebody in the family, and it's like a different story with each part. I would love if the Avatar series adopted that formula and we just got a new Avatar, like a different Avatar story with each season. I would love that so much.
So like an anthology series?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that would be so sick.
It sounds like that's probably going to happen, but what I want to see is I want further adventures of Aang and Sokka and Katara. I want the further adventures of them because you have like 20 years after the end of the first series in between Legend of Korra where so much happened, and we got a little glimpses of it in the comics that delved into some really fascinating themes of like colonialism and what happens when you try to break that down, and finally getting the search, like what happened to Zuko's mom, get that adapted into a medium that deserves it. Like I would love to see that be one of the animated films that they do.
Yeah, and I think that is like the most likely thing to happen. Just because the comics are so well loved, and people have been asking like the creators directly to when are these going to be adapted. So I wouldn't be surprised. Now my only concern is why are they still trying to do live action adaptations? That's my only concern with this.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe to just get more out of it. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, sure. Third time might be the charm, but like they've been burnt
because
twice already.
Live action, it like takes less time to make because animation takes a fucking minute.
Yeah,
that's true.
And they do really, really beautiful 2D animation. That really, really beautiful 2D animation that looks very, very gorgeous. With the Avatar series, and especially when they do those fight scenes, that takes forever to do with that choreography and everything like that. So I mean, I know Avatar, they did an episode one time. I think this was in the first Avatar series. They did the episode about the very, very first Avatar.
That was season 2 of Legend of Korra.
Yeah. Oh, that was Legend of Korra. Okay.
It was Avatar 1, who was voiced by Steven Yeun.
Yeah. Which was a very great episode. One of the best episodes, I think, the show in Legend of Korra or Avatar, The Last Airbender, had ever done.
Yeah.
And there's been some other ones that they've shown, other avatars that we've seen throughout the series, both of the series, other avatars. And what was the avatar that just told Aang, why don't you just kill him? I mean, what was that? Yoshi.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd like to see.
I just love that meme. It's like it's like that meme of Jamba from Lilo and Stitch with a gun. It was like, Aang, Kyoshi to Aang, just kill that motherfucker.
Yeah,
it's like Aang after Ozai accidentally releases the Avatar state. Kyoshi, now we do things my way.
So I'd like to see kind of. Maybe they'll do a season about her, and basically like we've seen very kind of avatars that are very kind of like not so I guess I wouldn't say pacifist, but I mean Aang was a little bit more of a pacifist. I mean, didn't fight unless he had to absolutely fight. Didn't really care about violence all that much. And Korra was very hot-headed as a character, and she learned to kind of control that over time. But a person who like an avatar who really is violence, and it's like, listen, I'm just going to solve the situation head on and just kind of end it there. That'd be a very interesting one. I don't know how far they can take it since it is a kids show, but that'd be kind of a very interesting take to see what they kind of do with all the different avatars. Have any of you ever read any of the comics of Avatar?
No.
I read The Promise and I read The Search, but I haven't been able to pick up any of the other ones that they've adapted, or the comics that they've released for Legend of Korra.
Yeah. Another interesting thing, I think, possibly seeing, like Nick mentioned, the 20 years that we saw, that kind of went past, and they kind of mentioned in Legend of Korra, because I'd like to see, it seemed like that was kind of a really interesting story, the stuff going on with Aang and how he was kind of assassinated by the bloodbenders and things like that.
Well, he wasn't assassinated. He was targeted, but not assassinated. I'm pretty sure he died in peace, right? Because he was just old.
Died of old age.
Yeah.
Oh, he died of old age? Oh, yeah. Okay, I thought he was killing that. Okay, so, but the whole kind of thing with them fighting because who wasn't Sakura?
Sakura.
Sakura. I mean, Sokka's brother. Yeah.
Wait, sorry, Sokka's brother. Bro, have you watched Avatar?
No, wait a minute. Sorry.
Have you watched Legend of Korra?
You talking about Katara?
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, my bad.
Fake fan. Josh is a big fan.
Yeah, my bad. I don't remember all the names. My bad about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my bad about that. Yeah. So it wasn't
he's gonna be asking about who's the Hokage now next.
Yeah, but wasn't he killed?
Yeah. Who? What's Ash's pet? It's not. I mean, it's gonna be his next question.
What's Yugi's favorite monster?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. Dude. Yeah, but so wasn't the brother killed?
Sokka?
Yeah, he was killed, right?
I don't think any of the Aang gang died like that.
I thought he was.
They don't say how any of the Aang gang died.
I feel like if they died like that, they would have addressed that in Korra. I don't think that's something.
Yeah, because I thought that's what they had in the flashback episode of Korra, that one of them died.
Because they got taken over by a bloodbender, but then that guy just fucked off and ran.
No, I remember that scene to the T. I know what scene you're talking about, where the bloodbender they take to court or whatever, and then he bloodbends everybody to the ground, and then he almost gets Aang, and then Aang's like, wait, I'm the Avatar, and then he just goes into the Avatar state and then snaps out of it. Yeah, I remember that scene. Nah, he didn't die. He fucked that dude up.
Oh, okay. No, maybe I did back and
he took that dude's
the entire Aang gang lived long into Legend of Korra. Like Zuko, Toph, and Katara, they were all still alive. The only one that died was Sokka.
Yeah, Sokka and Aang, they died of old age, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe Sokka had a drinking problem or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe his moon girlfriend finally had enough.
Yeah. So when you talk about continuing the series or sort of a new series, so Chayse, you just want kind of like an anthology type of situation, and then Nick, you kind of want more of them to focus kind of on the 20 years. And then
it's 20 years of that history between Last Airbender and Legend of Korra, especially because that was the creator's original plan before M. Night did what he did. They wanted to do other series focusing on Aang and the gang. They wanted to do animated movies, but because The Last Airbender, the live action movie, bombed so hard and was so critically panned, M. Night Shyamalan fucked it up for everyone.
That's interesting. But I am happy now, though, with the resurgence on Netflix. Nickelodeon has now learned that these guys do deserve the keys. So hopefully this time around, they can get their full vision expressed. Because, I mean, even with Korra, they were having issues just getting that on air.
Just getting it on the fucking air. It was pulled from the actual network on its second season, so it had to go to a streaming service.
And I mean, they didn't even know that they were going to have that second season last time I remember checking.
Yeah,
like
the original plan was they just wanted to do kind of a one and done situation.
Yeah, so I hope that this time around they get the chance to do their full thing. And like we've seen how well these shows hold up. So I hope now with the Avatar Studios, this is just like I wouldn't be mad if they made this a massive fucking franchise that just never ends. I would be cool with it. They seem to know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And the world is so the world is so big. You could do so much with that. The lore of the spirit world, the fact that there could be multiple different avatars, like an anthology series. There's so much you could do.
Okay. Yeah, I think we all can't wait for it. I definitely need to rewatch the series again.
Just no more live action, please.
Yeah.
God.
They could maybe make a good live action. You never know. They could do it right.
That thing is cursed. That's like what's it called? Don Quixote. That joint is cursed. That shit is just not meant to happen.
All right. So moving on from discussing Avatar, we're going to go into the reviews, people. Do you want to start with the silly shit, or do you want to start with the serious shit?
So what do you mean by the silly shit?
Tom and Jerry, you want to start with the silly shit? We can go into Billie Holiday.
Oh, what you mean? I thought that was the serious shit.
Tom
and was a very deep.
Yeah.
It was a very profound movie right there, my friend.
Yeah. Yes. Tom and Jerry has affected me emotionally like no other movie this year besides music.
Yeah. So we'll get into it. So Tom and Jerry.
Oh my god.
The most kind of one of the most iconic animated characters from Warner Brothers. People have seen them before. Their show. I used to watch their show. Kind of used to come on like super late at night, Cartoon Network, 2 a.m. in the morning, I think it was.
Or when you were skipping school too, they would come on.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, perfect. Skip school. The television programming then was watching Judge Mathis. That was kind of watching Maury. Sitting at home. That was kind of the skip school playlist right there. Watching that and Maury. That
was your playlist. My playlist was Tom and Jerry, Bernie Mac show, and My Wife and Kids.
Yeah, My Wife and Kids. I don't know. That was kind of lame.
You're kind of lame.
The only funny part of that show was the big black guy. Tom and Jerry. You had Tom and Jerry. You got this, which is the HBO Max film of the iconic animated characters. Here you have them being superimposed into the real world, where apparently in this world, all animals are animated. Every single animal you see is animated. From the spiders to the pigeons to the dogs, the cats, everyone is animated. Every single animal you see is animated.
But when they become food, they become unanimated.
Yeah, I guess when they you put them out their misery. Their soul left their bodies, and then now they're just corpses. So you can eat them and then not feel anything about it. Yeah. So for some reason, this movie opens up with pigeons rapping "Can I Kick It" from A Tribe Called Quest. I have no idea why. A lot of the music choices.
Come on, dude. You know the kids like the hip hop.
Yeah, the hip. Yeah. The hop. The hippie. The hop.
Hip hop. You don't stop.
The only benefit I can see of them doing that is like maybe a kid watching this will go like, "Oh, that's a good song," and then maybe they'll go look up A Tribe Called Quest.
True.
One of the greatest hip hop bands groups of all time. Q-Tip is like one of my top 5 rappers of all time. Love Q-Tip. So amazing group. So maybe kids, you watching this, you want to watch Tom and Jerry, please go check out Tribe Called Quest. If you like that song, that the animated pigeons played.
It just feels like Tim Story, because this is directed by Tim Story, who gave us such classics as Barbershop.
Yeah.
Gave us the Fantastic Four.
Yep.
Fantastic Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Mm-hmm.
Think Like a Man.
Think Like a Man was pretty good. Pretty solid.
I'll show you do real.
I mean,
it feels like he'd never seen a children's movie past 2005.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of just how this movie is. Like, it's a 2005, very nostalgic. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and hate on the movie for too much, but it is a very much nostalgic trip. Because I don't think there's been a movie where cartoons have been in the real world since like way back when we were kids, right? Or am I tripping? I don't watch
Looney Tunes Back in Action. Looney Tunes Back in Action is like the last one that I remember.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say there was something maybe kind of recent. I can't remember, but so this one, you have these characters and nobody's freaked out about it. Nobody's, you see Tom, he's playing on the piano.
Nobody's their world.
Nobody even addresses it.
No, yeah. I think that
it's a couple of like the worst acting extras ever.
Yeah. Because they're just looking at literally nothing.
I like the concept though. I'm not gonna hold you. I did like the concept of their world.
Yeah. I mean, it's their world. You can make it however you want to make it. Whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? If this other world operates, that's fine. You understand the rules of it, I guess. I don't understand why.
Only the animal. Why are they the only ones that operate under cartoon physics? Does everything in this world operate under those rules?
Now that is something that should have been solved.
If they like walk across a building, do they like not fall until they look down? Do if people get in a fight, does it create a human tornado? What?
Well, wait, hold on. Michael Pena was actually involved in one of those tornado things, and the rules of the cartoons affected him. So I think your question was answered.
And for some reason, like as far as we can see, all the other animals can talk except for Tom and Jerry. Yeah. I don't think the female cat talked. I don't think that she didn't talk.
No, the cat didn't talk.
Okay.
The female cat didn't talk, but all the other
the cat that Tom just suddenly starts singing like John Legend to.
Yeah, I was about to say Tom can't talk, but he sure can sing.
Auto-tune John Legend. He just starts going on the piano. Because in this one he's like a pianist, and you see him, he's playing on the street and everything like that. But the main premise of this, so you have Chloe Grace Moretz who's in this, and she plays like this kind of grifter, lost her job, now she's kind of looking for another job. She goes to this nice fancy hotel which is run by the guy from Deadpool 2, Rob. What you say?
I can't remember the character's name, but Ron from Deadpool 2.
Yeah, Ron from Deadpool 2. He's the manager at this hotel. Goes in there, cons her way into getting a job there, which I actually thought that was, I don't know, maybe I'm looking for something to like, but I thought that was kind of a good scene where she's, talking to the woman who's about to be interviewed, and she kind of cons her way to kind of get in there and says like, oh no, this was really the test, and I'm the person there. So I thought that was maybe a nice little scene, I guess. I don't know, maybe I'm looking for something.
She fucked over a woman who worked hard and earned that job. Fuck you, Chloe Moretz.
But I mean,
I don't know.
Like, fuck you.
She seemed kind of bougie.
Yeah.
She seemed really kind of bougie, you know what I mean? Moving her luggage away from her and things like that, you know? So it's kind of like, she's kind of bitchy. I don't know. Maybe she didn't need this job. So, she gets it. She gets her way in there and, has this nice position. And there's like this big event that's going to come to this wedding. A wedding is going to come to this hotel, which is this huge event. These two superstar people. And it's Colin Jost, who is... I've seen Wonder Bread be more kind of thrilling to look at on screen, because he is just pure white bread, just no energy, no life. It's just like, man, he's kind of delivering his lines super flat, and it's kind of painful to watch at times just to see him kind of do it. But so he's the husband, and he wants to put on this big wedding for his wife, and at this hotel. Elephants, peacocks, tigers, all this other stuff, which are all animated, like we said, it's gonna be animated. And he wants
all
to do that.
Animated and all talk.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
So you know what? None of the human characters address if they talk or not.
That's never mentioned. And before this big event comes, one of the kind of main things is you have Jerry, who's this mouse in this fancy hotel. So, she has a mission who gets, to get rid of Jerry. And she, before this big event happens, because they want to look at this big prestigious hotel. You also have Ken Jeong, who's in this, who's like the chef, who complains about the mouse and says like, hey, we got, this review coming and we got to get rid of it before we get a bad review and everything like that. So that's basically pretty much the setup of this film. And she, Chloe Grace Moretz has Tom basically as an enforcer to get rid of Jerry, to kind of work together to get rid of him. So a lot of the stuff here, I mean, you have the hijinks of Tom and Jerry if you've watched the cartoon. A lot of the slapstick stuff, them beating each other up. I don't think it really hits as much as it does in the cartoon. I thought there's some good things you could have done in this live action environment around that I don't think they take really kind of full advantage of there. The kind of, their whole back and forth, maybe it just works as shorter segments, not really a whole length movie. And then Tom and Jerry's have this thing now where they just are being put into movies. Like there was one where they got put into the Willy Wonka, like that film. They all of a sudden there's like a Tom and Jerry version of that film. Don't know why. They just all of a sudden it's the same movie. It's Willy Wonka, but just with Tom and Jerry added on to it. Have no idea why that's a thing, but they're just being put into stuff like that. And I just don't think it kind of works in kind of this form. I mean, this movie's an hour and 40 minutes, hour and 40 minutes. Definitely didn't need to be an hour and 40 minutes. Feel like you could have.
Or in 35 minutes too long.
Yeah, I thought you could have cut this down a lot more. And I mean, because this is already on TV already. It's on a streaming service. You can make the length anytime you want. You can make the length anything you want. I don't think there was any intention for this to come to theaters, was it?
I think it was, because this was part of the HBO Max's announcement that it's going to theaters and it's be HBO Max same day.
Okay.
So I think it was a part of that whole strategy.
Oh, okay. So this coming, like if this had came to the theaters, I couldn't have imagined who would have really gone to see this, because even if you just wanted to put a movie in front of a kid to just go like, hey, here's something, we could go take the family. I mean, it's not so annoying and grating on the parents. I don't think they couldn't just sit there, but it's just not. I mean, there's so many, I think, other better options you'd want to take your kid to go see other than Tom and Jerry, especially something like Tom and Jerry, which is old school. I mean, Tom and Jerry's been around since the 60s, 70s?
Maybe even so. Yeah, around there. Yeah. So it's been around for a long time. And it just doesn't seem like something that it would be that interesting. And then, you're not drawing in these kids with these, music choices, which feel like they're on shuffle. It feels like they just got some intern's iPhone and be like, you know what, we need some music for the film. Just put your iPhone there, put it on shuffle. and Oh, damn. Did Jerry get him? Jerry froze him? Damn. Jerry done cut his wires. That's crazy. Damn mouse.
Oh, yeah.
Did Jerry get your wires? What's up with you?
Oh, is it? Did it freeze again?
Yeah, you froze. It's all good.
Nah, it wasn't.
We're gonna keep that
Jerry.
in.
It was.
Oh, great.
It was Agatha all along.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like I said, it's just such weird music choices. But I mean, how did you guys feel about it?
I didn't hate it. It was alright. I mean, it does feel at points that it's like two different movies trying to be crammed into one. You got this scammer character with what's her name again? I can't remember her name right now.
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah. Who, she is charming in this film. Like she does a decent job in this film. But then you also have the cartoony elements with Tom and Jerry and their continuous back and forth rivalry. So that's just kind of like a hard thing to sort of mix together in this movie. But they tried. I don't hate their back and forth Tom and Jerry. I actually those were some of my early on, those were some of my favorites, like moments, like when Tom has his own room and he's drinking champagne while not Tom, Jerry is in his own room drinking champagne, and then Tom tries to break in. I thought that was hilarious.
That was the best part of the movie. This movie is at its best when it's going back to just doing classic Tom and Jerry hijinks.
Yeah.
That is when the movie is at its best. The problem, there's not enough of it.
And I mean, the segments that they do have, like when they are trying to force feed Tom and Jerry into Chloe's story, they're not carried out as well, and that's the problem. I feel like if you had maybe just kind of kept it to Tom and Jerry are looking for a place to stay, and they just happen to invade this hotel, and made Chloe's character sort of like the antagonist, or Michael Peña's character the antagonist, I feel like this movie would have been a lot funnier.
You could have made that CG cat the antagonist, because there was a moment where, she could have fucked Jerry up.
Yeah.
And she would have fucked him up.
Because I do think that there are interesting elements in this film that make it passable. Just like, and I think, if they had kept it to where it's just Tom and Jerry just trying to live in this hotel that they're not supposed to be in. Because in the beginning of the movie, spoiler alert, they're both homeless. So I think that could have been a much more interesting movie than the movie that we did get. That being said, what we did get was fine. It was passable. Predictable, yes, but okay. What do you think, Nick?
Shit. I think as I've gotten older, I've become less and less tolerant of lazy children's films, because this could have been really interesting. It's the best parts about Tom and Jerry is Tom and Jerry. Focus completely on them. Make all the human characters the antagonists, or don't even address them. I'm trying to think back to the original cartoons of when you even saw human characters at all.
Yeah.
And I'm blanking.
I mean, even the human characters that you did see, you would never see their faces. No. It was like a Charlie Brown situation where they were just unseeable forces.
I wasn't a big fan of how pretty much every character besides Tom and Jerry was just playing a stereotype, because Tom, he interacts with a bunch of alley cats that are very clearly supposed to be like ghetto gangster black. It was just grating to me. But there were moments in this movie that made me go, what the fuck? There's this classic moment from the cartoon where you get the angel and the devil on your shoulders.
Yeah.
And Tom has two of those moments, and they're voiced by Lil Rel Howery from Get Out. And the entire time I was like, wait, what the fuck? Is Tom black? Is he black?
I mean, I like those moments though. Those were some of the highlights.
Yeah.
I'd honestly they needed more of Tom and Jerry in this film. Yeah. Which is weird to say.
It's there's a montage of Tom and Jerry going to various sites around New York, and they go to the fish market, and all the fish in the containers are animated. So the entire time I was just thinking, wait, is the food in this world animated? Is the sushi here animated? Yeah. What the hell? I need to know. I need to know this now.
Yeah. I see. I'm not mad at that though. I feel like there's something there with that world building that just hasn't been done well.
I'm not mad.
There's something there.
What creator of this? What Faustian bargain did the creators of this world make to where all the animals are animated?
I just think it needs to be properly explored. But I do think that world could be pulled off, and I think that shit could be funny as hell.
Yeah. Under better direction, better writing, you could have really did something. I mean, Tim Story, he's a very workman-like director. He seems like a guy that they call in. It's like, hey, we need this job done. who's going to do it. They call in him, and he gets the job done, and he's very professional at getting it done and shooting it.
Tim Story, he's a consummate professional. Everything he does, he brings stuff in on time, under budget.
Yeah, you know what I mean. That's what you get a guy like him to kind of do things like that. The world that this in, I think you could have had a lot more fun with it. Could have kind of written something a lot better, a lot more better gags that you could have did with Tom and Jerry. Really pulled from the older cartoons and kind of updated them more to modern day. A lot of the people in this movie, they act like cartoons themselves pretty much. Michael Pena, he seems like he's putting on his kind of accent way harder in this film than I've seen him do before.
It reminded me more of his character from fucking I'm trying to remember the Blumhouse movie he did. It was like Fantasy Island.
Island. Yeah.
Because he's like turning on the accent like to 11.
Yeah.
It seems like, in this he's doing that more for like comedic effect. Like he's really turning it on for that, to emphasize things and to kind of make jokes out of it. And stuff like that. So, I think this movie it's just forgettable. I won't remember this movie. I'm already forgetting kind of elements of this movie now. I just saw it today. I won't remember.
If I didn't write notes while I was watching the movie, I wouldn't remember a fucking thing from it.
Hey man, this was your pick of the week.
Well, yeah, because it's a movie that comes.
Pick it?
No, I'm talking about Josh. I'm talking to Josh.
Yeah, because it's a big movie that comes out on a streaming platform.
You said, we have to watch this movie. We have to review this movie.
Yeah,
and I'm the one giving it praise. I'm the only one here. Giving it slight praise.
We did have to review because it's a movie on a big streaming service. So we had to do that.
Oh, all right.
Give my rating for it to just wrap up my thoughts. Give my rating for it. I thought there's just a lot of kind of weird choices. They made the music choices. I thought it was a good waste of time, and Jerry could have done a lot better gags with it. There were some good sequences here and there in it that made it kind of enjoyable. Chloe Grace Moretz is kind of like the main human element, the main human character that we kind of follow throughout the film. I thought she was decent. I thought she had personality. Thought she was good as kind of like this scammer grifter type character. I thought she was kind of good as that. I thought she fit that fine. Makes me think like where where has she kind of been in a while? Seems like she kind of dropped off because it seems like she's on a very much of a hot streak. After Hit Girl when she played that in Kick Ass, and then she kind of dropped off for a bit. But I thought she was decent in this. I thought just a lot of the stuff just kind of really falls flat. A lot of this humor kind of falls flat overall. So for me, I would give it a 4 out of 10. Strong 4, light 5 out of 10. Nick?
Yeah, I had a hard time enjoying any of the human elements of this movie outside of the gags with Tom and Jerry. I barely remember a thing. This is easily 4 out of 10 for me. It's like the gags with Tom and Jerry are funny, but there's not enough of them. And when I'm more asking what the fuck throughout your entire movie and not laughing at any of the gags, you fucked up.
Okay. Nick? Chayse?
The other co-host of Color, yeah. I feel like you had 2 decent ideas that just don't mesh well together in this film. I do like the scammer character. I think, in another movie where she had her full time to scam, I feel like she could have had a good story. And with Tom and Jerry, I think they also deserved a lot more screen time as well. With that being said, it's a 5. It's very average. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's very passable. And it does its job. If you have kids, just put it on. If you ran out of shit for them to watch. And bob your head whenever the music cues happen, because they got some bops in here.
No. They just don't fit at all in the movie at all.
But they doesn't deny that they're bops. A bop is a bop.
Which, by the way, what the fuck with the rapping pigeons?
Yeah,
you're
like,
in New York.
The pigeons.
You're
like
in
the
New York.
Pigeons rapping though.
You're in New York.
And then there's a point where the pigeons like tell the story, like they're kind of talking to the camera and they're to help telling the story.
Are they the narrators of this? What the hell?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This. I mean, it was very average, very mid. And I'm giving it like a 5 on like the kids film grade, not like, you know.
Yeah. I forgot the part where they hired Tom, like they like hired him as an employee, like.
We're damned if we do, damned if we don't. If we don't hire the cat, Beetle will be on our ass. If there's rumors that we're hiring a cat, they'll be under. What? How?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, go rewatch the old Tom and Jerry cartoons. Go do that. I wonder if they're on HBO Max. I wonder if they are on. I didn't check. If all
do they own them? I don't know.
I don't know. I have to check and see. But moving on from discussing Tom and Jerry, we're going to discuss the United States versus Billie Holiday. Here in this Hulu film, it's telling the story of Billie Holiday, who's being targeted by the FBI for her song Strange Fruit, which was a song detailing the horrors of lynching. She did not write the song herself, but she would sing the song. And there was the FBI, who in this film is being led by Garrett Hedlund, he's the main person, really has a big heart on for taking down Billie Holiday, more than anybody. And Trevante Rhodes, who plays another FBI agent under Garrett Hedlund, who's the person sent in basically as kind of like you saw like with William O'Neill and Judas and the Black Messiah, basically being this character who's like, hey, you're black, you can infiltrate this kind of jazz community, getting close to Billie Holiday, especially since we all know Billie Holiday, she loves men, has a weakness for them, especially picks a lot of, shitty men who lie to her and things of that nature. So you're perfect for it, to go in and kind of go and take her down and plant drugs on her and things like that. So in this film, it stars Andre Day as Billie Holiday, who I think does a very, very good job as Billie Holiday. Very strong performance from her. I think it's one of those situations where great, strong leading performance, but everything around her just kind of fails. This movie is directed by Lee Daniels, who's very much known kind of for a little bit of the melodramatic kind of nature of his filmmaking. And I feel like, it's such a strong lead performance, but I think everything else gets put to the wayside. And the development of all the other characters that are the supporting characters also gets fallen by the wayside. Like you have characters in the band. I think that's a very good, kind of thing you could have explored more in this 2-hour film, where you have, people in her band of how, her being a drug addict, her, kind of making these sometimes bad decisions. You could have explored, how that really kind of impacted other people and, her relationship with her band and kind of how that caused all that friction, which would have been very interesting. One of the people in her band is actually adult, from Everybody Hates Chris. He's all grown up now. Yeah. I was like, wow, look at him. He's a man now. Look at him. Great for him. Which is very nice. He plays the person who plays the saxophone in her band, which is very nice. Trevante Rhodes is in this, like I said, who plays the FBI agent. I feel like, which something did really happen in real life when there was an FBI agent assigned to her. He did fall in love with her and they did begin a relationship. I felt like they really, really underserved him because we all know how talented of an actor, Trevante Rhodes is, seeing him, especially in something like Moonlight. And I just think they did him a big disservice in this, very much so, because I just think he's very flat. Doesn't really, and his character is very interesting because of being this character who is this black man, being, serving the FBI. Same thing with kind of like the William O'Neill character where, you could have really explored this person who has this inner turmoil about like, am I doing the right thing? Serving, I'm trying to do what's best for my community. Is being a part of the FBI the best for my community and the best to actually do, to do right by them. And, you could have really explored that a little bit more and really played with that. And I get it's not his movie, but just to give his character some more dimension to him. what do you what did you all think about kind of the movie and kind of feeling about it?
So to some degree, I disagree. I do agree about the side characters kind of getting the shaft, but I don't think that's what this film was trying to do. I think it was trying to, and this is how I felt about it, was it was trying to show you a woman who basically had the world against her from the jump. You know, like the United States as a whole was very much against Billie Holiday, and that's kind of how it felt. Even herself, she was even self-sabotaging herself to some degree. Now, I do agree that the FBI agent definitely could have gotten some more development. I think his character, especially like within the first 30 minutes, because they try to play it out where he's like, oh, what is he doing there? Is he just a fan? This, that, and the third. There's not enough development or leading up to that reveal that he is an FBI agent for it to feel like a justified reveal. It kind of just sort of like, oh yeah, he was with the feds the whole time, within these quick 30 minutes. Right. So that in itself did kind of feel flat, and his motivation behind that kind of felt flat. But I think from then on, his character kind of picks up for me, at least. But I think the biggest problem with the movie is its pacing. The scenes, like I think the most glaring one was during the montage where she sees a lynching, and like I was watching it with my mom, and my mom and I were just like, she's still on heroin right now, like what's going on? Where are we in this movie right now? And it was very difficult to tell where we were. And this was supposed to be a very important, dramatic, like, you know, tone shifting event that didn't really feel like it, because it was kind of just sped up and just moved around and, you know, swerved away. And I think that is the primary issue of the film, that the pacing was bad. But I do think the elements were there for this to be good.
Okay. Nick, how about you?
Yeah, I agree with you, Chayse. I think the movie as a whole, I feel like it's kind of very poorly paced. I feel like a more interesting movie would have left the reveal left that reveal that he's with the FBI the whole time. They would have left that as like a third act.
Yeah.
And more focused on like their development, and let that betrayal like really have some emotional weight to it. But everything else, everything just kind of falls flat outside of Andrea Day's performance, which she is amazing in. And she gets Billie Holiday's cadence down, and from what I can tell, she is actually singing as Billie Holiday, which she is amazing in.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, she is very, very good in this knockout performance from her. Garrett Hedlund, who plays the other kind of lead FBI agent, he doesn't really have any other thing going on than going, ooh, I hate black people. Ooh, I just want to get this bitch. Ooh, I hate her so much.
He is just playing mustache twirling, slimy government type.
I mean, he probably was. I mean,
which, the real guy was.
You know.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's his, and he's a good actor, Garrett Hedlund. You know, he's, I think, a very, very solid actor. But yeah, that's just kind of his whole thing, is just playing that type of, just the evil white guy that you see in these type of movies, you know, and that's basically it. And that's the only thing you really kind of see from him. And so I thought, that was kind of a little bit disappointing. And seeing kind of, like you said, the pacing issues, this movie is 2 hours. First of all, it starts off for me, kind of like really kind of bad in terms of kind of like the old storytelling cliche of when she's kind of giving an interview to somebody and going, well, let me tell you the story of my life. And that's the reason they go back and go through her whole life, which is kind of, I think, really kind of really lazy. I think that's kind of cheap. I think you could have done something else better.
It's a lazy framing device that doesn't really play into what goes on in the movie at all.
Yeah, especially with the ending. It's kind of just like, okay.
Yeah.
We didn't need to start there, but okay.
The musical performance is very good.
Yeah.
She has a great voice. Actually made me want to go back and actually listen to Billie Holiday and listen to her music, and listen to the song "Strange Fruit" again, because they do play it in the movie as well. So I thought that. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, my bad. Keep going.
Oh, yeah. So I thought, it did make kind of want to go back and listen to the song again after hearing it in the film, because it is a very good song. And they do give details at the end of the movie, like how they do with most movies based on true stories, about how the song got, voted the song of the century, how it got into the Grammy Hall of Fame, things of that nature. So, to kind of give my final thoughts and to wrap up kind of about my rating, to get my rating for the film, I would say very strong performance by Andra Day. It being on Hulu, I think allows you just to kind of watch it, and just kind of sit at home, kind of watch it. I do think it's still a movie that still would be nice to watch, especially just talking about kind of these issues going on, that a person like her faced, black woman like her faced, just blacks, Americans were facing at that time, and just plays into like what we've been talking about for the past weeks or so, like with MLK, FBI, with Judas and the Black Messiah, One Night in Miami, kind of films like that. It does play. I don't think this film is nowhere near on the same level as those films, like One Night in Miami, like Judas and the Black Messiah.
Not even close.
It's nowhere near kind of on that same level, but I think it's still kind of a solid film, if not a film just to watch for her performance alone. I just think everybody else in the film kind of is very much let down by the material. So for me, I would give it maybe a 6. I'd give it a 6 out of 10 for me. Nick?
Me, outside of Andra Day's performance, I was just kind of bored by this movie. I feel like the framing of this was just really cringy, especially with the person giving the whole interview. Javante Rhodes, it's kind of a waste of his talent, and he doesn't really get a lot to do. The entire shift with his character, it just kind of feels unearned. There's like one scene he's like all gung-ho with the FBI, the next, hey, fuck the feds.
That's what simping, man. Simping. He was simping.
Yeah, man.
King simping.
People do that to you.
Yeah.
I mean, at least this time it was good simping. Simping was good this time.
Yep. Besides Andra Day's performance and music and how it's used, there's nothing really to sing the praises about with this movie. This is, at best, a 5 out of 10 for me.
5 out of 10.
All right. Well, once again, I am the most positive reviewer on the show. I guess I am now the Paula. I did not expect to be the Paula of the show, but for me at least, I enjoyed it. There were moments, especially like some of the montages between the singing the performances and what was going on in her background life. I thought they were well done. A little cliche, yes, but that's Lee Daniels for you. I still enjoyed it, and I enjoyed what's her name again? Andra Day.
Yep.
Andra Day. Her performance, she carries this film. She puts it on her back, and every scene with her is just well done to me. At least I enjoyed her performance, and just heard them deconstructing Billie Holiday. I thought they did a decent job with her. So for me, it's a 7, a light 7, but I think it's a solid film, and I think it fits the sort of theme for the year, which seems to be the FBI ain't shit.
Yeah.
Because literally every movie this year has been the main villains have been the FBI, which they are villains. Especially J. Edgar Hoover.
Yeah. Well, never trust the feds.
Never trust the feds. All cops are bastards.
Yeah. So yeah, it does, like you said, fit in that theme. I also say costume design.
Costume. Nice. Yo, the makeup for her was fire, especially like in the hospital scenes. Like she actually looked like disheveled.
Yeah, she looked bad. Yeah. Because everybody knows the real life story, what happened to Billie Holiday at the end of her life. Yeah, it was like, oof. Yeah, she was like, her eyes was all yellow, and I'm like, oof.
Yeah.
Ugh, man. She was looking rough at the end. Yeah. I was like, oh man. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, good, really good costume design, really good makeup, and all that other stuff like that. Very good. And also Rob Morgan, he shows up in here. I love me some Rob Morgan. Love when he shows up in anything, and I thought he was pretty good in this as well. Just not enough really good time with that character, I thought. But love some Rob Morgan. All right, so moving on from discussing the United States versus Billie Holiday, we're going to talk about WandaVision, episode 8. This is pretty much, after the big reveal of Catherine Hahn being Agnes being Agatha Harkness. We get basically a scene with that, basically a follow-up of that, where we see her basically imprisoning Wanda, and she basically takes her through a nice tour of all her trauma for a nice little, with popcorn in hand, to basically try to find out, how is she able to conjure up this much magic? How is she able to make this big hex and turn everything the way she did? And what kind of led that? So, and this is the only episode we've seen without Vision. Well, actually, Vision is in it, but without kind of him kind of being in it as like in part of the town and everything like that. It's mainly just kind of focused on with her and with Agatha kind of going through all her memories. And we see her go through the memory of when she was a child, watching the old TV programs with her parents, Malcolm in the Middle. You see the suitcase that her father has, you know what I mean? He was one of those guys, you know what I mean? That was kind of like you see at the barbershop selling them, kind of bootleg DVDs, you know what I mean? Like, I got Fast and Furious for you, you know what I mean? I got that, you know what I mean? I got Rush Hour. You want that? You got that? And selling bootleg
Rush Hour. Somehow it's misspelled on the box.
Yeah.
The CGI scenes are unfinished.
Yeah, you buy the DVD from him, and then you go watch it home. You see the dude, he eating the popcorn. You see him go in the popcorn bag. You see the dude walk in the middle of the screen and shit. It's like, oh wow. That's when I stopped buying bootlegs at the barbershop. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm not doing this no more. But she kind of seeing that childhood memory of her. It was kind of funny because when Pietro comes in, that boy did come in loud. She mentions that, I was like, damn, yeah, that boy is loud. Holy crap. Yeah. But seeing, kind of all that stuff, we see kind of how she grew up with that obsession of with the shows, because it's something that they did together as a family, watching those shows together. So, and then you see the scene that we kind of talked about, that they talked about in Age of Ultron when she got introduced, which was the Stark bomb hitting her home, and kind of them kind of waiting to die. And it kind of this episode really kind of made me think, you really haven't seen really explored much of her as a character, Wanda, in the films. And that's what I think the beauty of this show is, that it really kind of gets to explore the relationship between her and Vision, the relationship, the kind of her as a character and her kind of whole background, because the films that she's been a part of, they've all been kind of ensemble things, from,
she's primarily been an ensemble character, and almost by necessity, because there's so much going on in every movie she's been in that you don't really get a lot of time to develop her. That's the amazing thing about this show.
You've kind of just in the background. Huh?
And I know for a lot of people that was like the big what was it, criteria for a lot of people before going into the show. We was just like, oh, why do we want to see Wanda and Vision? We don't really know those guys. But like, I'm so happy that they've done it this way, because not only is this show very experimental, it also is just a good deconstruction of her character and just really evaluating all the trauma that we've watched her go through without even, you know, we didn't even really know that we went through it with her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and just little hints during each flashback of how those played into the commercials. Because that beeping of the Stark toaster, it was the same one as in the first episode.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really nice catch. Yeah, that's a really nice catch there.
Yeah, and how each memory kind of played into the commercials for the show. Like the Dick Van Dyke Show episode, that was where we got the Stark toaster. The second one with the Strucker watch, that's where we got the 60s episode. The one after that, the Hydra soap, that was where she was watching Free Bunch or something, I think. Each commercial is kind of played into like her flashbacks.
Yeah, how it all kind of like this episode, like how it all kind of ties in all the other elements of the kind of like the loose ends that we've seen throughout the show. For instance, like the heart that we've seen on the calendar in the first episode that marks the date, like this little heart. We now know what that means now and what that kind of supposed to symbolize. And it really kind of breaks you up because the heart, you see like Vision had this, bought this land in Westview in New Jersey for them to live together, to buy this home. And, and it was kind of marked out in a little heart like that, the plot of this land. And before that, we see her go to Sword and try to look for his body and asking for just to have a proper burial for him. And again, Haywood being a dummy, being just a big dummy, he could have just let her get the body, just be done with it. But no, he, had to be kind of a dick about it. It makes me think, he says that's government property, but Tony Stark invented it though.
Tony Stark invented it, but he's also subject to the Sokovia Accords.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And, to be fair, that his point of view kind of made sense. This is a weapon.
This is $1 billion worth of vibranium.
Yeah. When he said it like that, I was kind of just like, yeah, no, that does make sense. You did fall in love with the robot, Wanda.
But the robot is, like she said, she just wants to properly bury him. That's it, and then he talked about her bringing, him back to life, which I don't even know if she has the power to do that, without the power of the stone, since that was kind of the main thing. And it gets into, like I said, goes through more of her history of how, when she was a child, had the bomb waiting for her to die, and kind of gets into her trials as when she was kind of going through those experiments from Strucker in order to become a weapon, in order to, fight, the Avengers at first. And makes you think that she already kind of had powers to begin with, which made her kind of, because they talk about how like all the people who went through the trials before, they all kind of died. And her and her brother were the only people to kind of survive those trials, and that she was kind of,
and even Agatha implies that she had some power before the experiments, because they survived 2 days without that bomb going off.
I think she said something like she put just by instinct she put a spell on the bomb so it wouldn't go off. And basically what the Mind Stone did was just amplify her powers to this degree.
Yeah. Because Agatha, because this episode opens... Agatha, yeah. What did I say?
Agatha.
Oh, Agatha. As we see when the episode opens, we see her at the witch trial.
Agatha Harkness did not compose a whole ass music video just so you can get the name wrong.
Facts. So we see at the beginning of this episode, Agatha during the Salem, kind of back in the age of the witches in Salem, and you see kind of a smooth Catherine Hahn. They put some de-aging on her. It kind of looks a lot more smoother, and you see her trying to be executed by other fellow witches, because she is a true blue witch. And she's talking to Wanda about all this witch stuff, about, hey, you don't know what this hex means, you don't know what these spells mean, you don't know what this means. And so, she's thinking that Wanda is, she is this powerful witch, that she knows all these abilities because of what she's able to do. But Wanda has no kind of, to me, idea of what she's talking about, because she's, just been able to just use her powers, just, she's just using them. She has no idea kind of like the history or maybe how she's using her abilities.
Yeah.
So throughout, you see the trials that she went through. You see the relationship she had with Vision, like in the Avengers Tower, talking to him, watching Malcolm in the Middle. A very good episode, by the way. Watching that episode, Malcolm in the Middle, very funny episode. And again, it goes into, like, you never really saw much of Vision and just Wanda together. Even in the movies, again, because it's an ensemble thing, so you have to kind of move along and kind of, have to kind of fit it in where you can, but mostly they're these big ensemble pieces that you can't really focus on that as much. So it really kind of gets into why they were so in love with each other, why they still were connected to each other, because she was alone, right? Having suffering the death of her parents, then the death of her brother, then now the death of Vision, as Agatha Harkness, and she kind of listed it all out. It's like, you lost all these people in your life, like, no wonder kind of, you felt the way you did, because you were just looking for something.
Yeah.
So what were you guys general like feelings about the episode and everything like that? How did you feel?
I liked it. This was the first of the sort of quote unquote hour-long episodes, if I'm not mistaken. So it was just nice to have more time with these characters. And kind of for all the people that have been watching these movies for so long, I feel like this is like such a dramatic payoff, because there's like moments where, like, you forget some of these things happen to Wanda and Vision just throughout the course of years of these movies, because they're not the real focus. They're not the real focus till now, at least. So
yeah.
I'm happy that a lot of things are being paid off in this show, and that their characters are now finally getting the time to shine. There's a lot that you can do with them. I'm very much looking forward to. Did you guys see the after credit scene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, I did.
Well, what do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I feel like this is, if you were like kind of turned off with the sitcom format, then this is return to MCU proper. This is kind of the episode where we're putting together all the pieces of how this whole Hex situation happened, and getting more into Wanda's mindset of why she did what she did.
Yeah.
Which that was just some amazingly powerful stuff, especially just with her performances. Like, once again, Elizabeth Olsen proving that she is the best Olsen. And just makes me kind of a little bit sad that we didn't get much of her and Paul Bettany's Vision in the MCU movies proper before this.
Yeah, absolutely. So to get into the spoil with the whole big mid-credit scene of this, so you see White Vision. Basically, they put him back online. They just whitewashed the guy, turned him into almost like a Silver Surfer type of look, a sperm cell kind of type of look, I guess you would say. And
no, not at all. I would not say.
Because I know the people said that did have a connection to the comics. Nick, would you know about that, of like White Vision in the comics?
Yeah, I think Vision in the comics, whenever he's shown as white, that's when he's like doesn't have the human side of it.
Okay.
There was a nod to it in Infinity War when Thanos pulled the stone out and he turned to Gray Vision, which I think that was his original look in the comics.
Okay. So now we'll see. Oh, good.
Yeah, that was his original look until he was given a soul by Wonder Man, I think. I'm a little spotty on my comics history. But yeah, and I think this is where we're going to get into the tragedy that this show is going to end up as, because And just a reveal that, Hayward's a lying sack of shit the entire time. He doctored the security camera footage to make it look like Wanda stole Vision when he's had him the whole time.
Yeah. And the Vision that we see in WandaVision is just her pure manifestation.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
It's all illusion.
Yeah. But, the fact that she's able to manifest people to be so sentient, I think is so cool. That in itself. Like, even Agatha is, like, amazed by that.
Because she's trying to find out, like, her whole power and what her whole deal is. And then at the end of the episode, she tells her, she gives her the name. She finally gets her superhero name. She is now the Scarlet Witch, as she said, because she operates using chaos magic, as she tells Wanda, as Agatha Harkness is holding the two kids, you know what I mean, about to lynch those two kids.
Agatha.
Agatha Harkness.
Say it a couple more times. Agatha
Harkness. Yeah. She's basically about to lynch those two kids, those two boys.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? So she's operating chaos magic. So the finale is coming up next week. So do you think it's going to be a situation where it's Wanda versus Agatha Harkness and then Vision versus White Vision? Or is that too simplistic? Do you think there's maybe another villain on the horizon? Maybe is there still hope Mephisto is going to come in, or is that just too late to drop in the game right now?
I think they've kind of hinted that Agatha's not in her right mind, because like in the earlier scene with the witches, it was like it was like they were afraid of her because she was so powerful, and it's implied that she's not getting that power from just herself. She has help, and that could be like Nightmare or Mephisto, some other demonic Marvel entity.
Okay. So I think so they're possibly gonna, like, the Sword is possibly gonna invade the Hex with White Vision, storm it, and then Wanda. It'd be very interesting to see what they do. I mean, Chase, what do you think they're gonna do with the final episode there?
Honestly, I have no idea, man. I mean, we do know White Vision has to fight somebody. It's interesting because Agatha kind of takes sort of a weird mentor role to some degree in this episode, where she's like going through, all right, this is the charm of what happened. She's teaching her, like, you don't know this, that, and the third about being a witch. Like, come on now. Right. So I don't know, because I do know that Scarlet Witch is kind of sort of an anti-hero. So, maybe the end of this season at least, Agatha sort of takes a mentorship role and they join forces to fight Sword. I don't know.
Yeah, because that's the way her character was in the comics. Her character, was a mentor to Wanda, taught her how to use her magic, her abilities. It's kind of, they're taking kind of a different route with it a little bit here and what they're doing, which is pretty nice. But maybe the end goal is to have her teach Wanda, the ability to become the Scarlet Witch and to have all this power, and to learn how to kind of utilize it. But it's I'm excited to see the final episode of this. It's something to look forward to, the whole week to week thing. Like, Friday, WandaVision. That's all. That's something. And then after this, we got Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then after that, it's going to be the Loki show. So, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, though, I think it's only going to be like 6 episodes, though, right? 6 episodes. Say that.
I don't know.
I think I heard it was only going to be like 6 episodes.
You good?
Yeah, I dropped my mic here. My bad. Just flipped off there.
Good.
Yeah, my bad. But very interesting. So moving on from discussing WandaVision. By the way, one more last thing about it. So when Agatha Harkness, when she was talking to Wanda, that's it. Okay, Agatha.
Are you doing this on purpose now?
Nah, no, I'm not doing it on purpose. when she was talking to Wanda, she was saying that Pietro, she possessed him. So do we think that that's just a completely different person that she just called Pietro, or do we think that's like another Pietro from like the other universe, or like possibly because like she said she could.
It was fake Pietro. It was just a dude that looked close enough, probably just some hipster dude with dyed white hair that
no,
Agatha possessed and mind controlled into acting the role as Pietro.
Yeah,
because they implied that Wanda was in such a state of doubt of how she was making this that she wouldn't even question that isn't Pietro.
Yeah. I don't know. I was kind of hoping that she did pull him from a different universe, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah, I think she was just pulled a random dude off the street and they cast Evan Peters as a wink and a nod to Oz. Who watched the X-Men movies.
I'm not mad at that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, because they implied that she wanted to use real Pietro, but necromancy's a bitch if you don't have the body.
Yeah. And like you said, he's all filled with holes.
Yeah.
Do you think that like there's a reason why they kind of her accent comes in and out? Do you think there is a reason why they do that or no?
Well, I mean, when she gets pissed, I feel like that makes sense. Because this whole thing is the whole thing about WandaVision is that she's trying to hide, or not hide, but like run away from reality. So I feel like she only uses the accent when she's pissed, and she goes into the American accent when she's playing the game. WandaVision TV show.
Yeah, because she drops the accent whenever she's not in sitcom role.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, a very good episode of the show. Looking forward to the finale. It's coming up week, so yeah, very, very nice. So our last thing to review of the show, Superman and Lois, the pilot. Chayse didn't see it. He didn't get a chance to see it. Me and Nick did. This is the new CW show, part of the Arrowverse. Would you say it's a spin-off of Supergirl since his character got first introduced in Supergirl, Superman, or no?
It's kind of unclear because you have the actors from the CW, from Supergirl, reprising their roles, but there's almost zero mention of anything that's gone on in Supergirl. There's no mention of Kara. There's no mention of the Crisis event. There's essentially nothing.
Yeah. So in this one, you have the two titular characters there, Clark Kent, Lois Lane. Now they're raising teenage sons. As we saw in the Crisis event, they only had the one son, but then because after Crisis, now they're twins. Now they have the two sons, and now they're full-grown kind of teenage boys now. I will say I do like the tone of it and the setting of it much more kind of already than the other CW shows, because the other CW shows, they follow a formula. They follow a template. You have a hero, and then you have the snarky tech people backing them up, the support team. That's the way it is in Supergirl. That's the way it is in The Flash. That's the way it was in Arrow. In DC Legends, it's really not that. It's just a group of heroes. In Black Lightning, it's a little bit different because it's more about the family aspect of this, which this kind of similarly kind of reminded me of in Superman and Lois, which kind of more about the family and kind of like, the toll of like being a superhero takes on the family. But you still have the Gambi character who's the tech guy, who's the tech support guy in Black Lightning. This one is kind of all about kind of like that family. The teenage sons in this, that when the kind of episode starts, they don't know that he is Superman, that their father is Superman. I do like the relationship, the chemistry between Lois and Clark in this. I think that's very good. They go through kind of his whole history, the beginning of the episode right off the bat. So you go through all that really quick. It's nice at the beginning of this episode, nice shout out and nod to the 1940s Superman costume that he wears, even with the fake kind of muscles on it. Even picks up a similar car that you saw, like when you saw in like the very first Superman comic from the 40s, which I thought that was a cute little nod to it and everything like that.
Yep, that was a cute little nod, and that's just an example of why Tyler Hoechlin is perfect for this role, because he is capturing that salt of the earth essence that is Clark Kent. Is like what everybody who writes Superman forgets, is that Clark is just a dude. He is one of us with powers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's
he plays it perfectly. Like Clark Kent's kind of a dork, and that's what's charming about it. Like, hey, nice costume. Oh, thanks. My mom made it for me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the same. I mean, those, kind of farm kind of values, John and Martha Kent. And it goes through all this, Jonathan Kent in this one, he's dead, dies of a heart attack. Similarly to kind of how he's died in other medium of Superman. You see how he got the job.
Except unless your name is Zack Snyder, in which case you have him die in a tornado for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Something that he
powers, man.
Yeah, something that he could have saved him from, but yeah, it's okay.
It's like praise you. Bye, Clark.
So yeah, that was a weird choice. But and you also see him getting a job at the Daily Planet. That's where you see him when they show where he meets Lois and how they begin. So it goes through all his biggest moments throughout the whole show, which is nice because you're not gonna have a show where you're leading up to those moments where he meets Lois, where he gets a job at the Daily Planet, where he kind of does all those things. It just kind of gets rid of those already off the bat because they're already established characters. You already saw them as already in Supergirl. So, and I guess that familiarity of seeing them on Supergirl also adds to it as well, seeing them in their own show and seeing, okay, Tyler Hoechlin, he can pull it off as Superman, like you said, Nick. He does a very, very good job. And with their two children, they talk about Jonathan was born, everything was great, everything was sweet, and then all of a sudden Jordan comes along, and he's a kid with kind of special needs. He's someone who got diagnosed with social anxiety disorder. Kind of has big tantrums, things of that nature, which I thought was nice to have in the show. Kind of have that kind of representation in the show. What did you think about that?
Mind it. I'd like to see it more developed because you have such a touchy subject with social anxiety disorder, and you had actors in the past in the CW who were diagnosed with it. Lois was one for Supergirl, and it's cool to see that kind of representation and then be out and out with it. And I hope it plays more into the story as this goes along, especially with the reveal of Jordan towards the end of the pilot.
Yeah. And the way the show's shot, it's also shot, I think, a lot differently than the other CW shows are shot. Because normally CW shows, they are very bright, kind of sunny. This one, it kind of takes a little bit of elements from that Snyder kind of vision, but not so much so blue, grayish, darkish kind of colors. Not so much that, but it kind of does take a little bit of that, which is, I thought, but it looks good. It's shot very nice and looks very good.
Yeah, I'm amazed that they got this level of production value from a CW show.
Yeah,
it's even the common thing with a lot of them, the CG, whenever they use it, it looks like straight from the Sci-Fi Channel. But for the most part, it looks pretty good here.
Yeah, it does.
Then again, this is the pilots.
Yeah, because if they're doing 22 episodes. Yeah, if they're doing 22 episodes.
Please, fucking God. Oh, God, no, please. No. No.
I hope
episodes.
That's usually the length of CW seasons of their show.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, so I hope they don't do 22 episodes. They might. I haven't looked up the episodes list on this, but I hope.
Right now, it's listed as 15 episodes that are listed on IMDb.
Oh, okay. That's still too long, but
yeah, it's a thick season, my guy.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. You'll see how it continues. And there are moments where he does get to punch something. I mean, you have Superman; he has to punch something. He's got to do something. Turns out,
wasn't those eye things that he could do?
The laser eyes, the heat vision. Yeah, he does have heat vision.
He has to take a page from Homelander's book, honestly.
Well, I mean, he doesn't want to kill anybody. He's not. He doesn't want to, kill anybody. Heat vision can just slice through somebody. He doesn't want to do that. You know what I mean?
No, I'm just talking about efficiency.
I mean, Homelander wasn't so efficient. He laser beamed the guy, and he went through the other guy, and he was like, "Okay, my job's done."
But see, that was taken care of in seconds. Superman has to take care of things in minutes. You know what I'm saying? Homelander, he's a busy guy. shoot some lasers.
Shoot some lasers. Jack off on a rooftop. Yeah, he's a guy. But in here. In here you have Superman. Apparently he fights Doom Guy. For some reason the villain he's fighting looks exactly like the Slayer from Doom. Don't know why. But but it was a good badass Slayer costume. I'm like, wow, that's some good cosplay. That's some nice looking costume. If they ever did another Doom movie, I'm like, wow, just take some notes from this because they did pretty nice. So that kind of helps go from the other element of the family drama stuff, like he's dealing with his two sons, because he's a good relationship with Jonathan but a bad relationship with Jordan. It's just they're very much they pull away from each other because of his condition and everything. Just doesn't really know how to connect with him in a way. It's also funny when you see Jordan and he goes in his room, got the music blaring, he's playing Injustice, and there's Superman in Injustice, like you know what I mean. And it's like, wow, okay, that's a part of this universe, which is nice. Like that, like you could play Superman in a fighting game, just like you can. So did you think, Nick, at all, some of the stuff they did with Jordan was a little bit like moody teenager CW stuff, like conventional kind of stuff, or did you think like it was more, better done than they have done it in other CW stuff?
Do you think it's very typical CW teen drama stuff, but I thought that the actors, they were given good enough dialogue that they were able to carry it.
Okay. Yeah. I think so.
But
I think
it didn't bother me in at least in this pilot episode as much as it does in like The Flash or Supergirl whenever they delve into the human drama.
Okay. So I just want to basically just wrap up, give my final thoughts, rating, pass on to Nick. I enjoyed the pilot. Thought it was really solid. Enjoyed the kind of the good family aspect of this. Enjoying the kind of the parents, raising children aspect of it. It makes it different from the other CW shows. The way it looks is very different from the other CW shows. Like the production value so far. I like the Superman costume that they have, that him wearing. It looks very similar to the Henry Cavill kind of costume in a way they have in the movies. And I like all the characters so far that they've introduced. The teenage sons, I like to see where they kind of go on from here. So for me, I give this pilot, a strong 7, light 8 out of 10 for me. Really enjoyed it. Maybe do you guys want to do like a season review, like watch all the episodes and then do like a season review of it when it's all said and done?
Maybe. I mean, the way you guys described it kind of sounds interesting. Just to see Superman the way, like we were talking earlier, where he's
see writers and an actor that actually understands Superman.
Yeah. So I'd be down to check it out. It's all said and done.
Nick, your final thoughts, rating?
I was excited when they announced this show because it sounded like they were loosely adapting one of my favorite Superman runs, and that was Peter Tomasi's Rebirth, where they introduced Jonathan Kent as Superboy, and it looks like they're taking some cues from that with Jordan and Jonathan Kent. I love Tyler Hoechlin's portrayal of Superman. He's like the step up from like I put him second next to Christopher Reeve as far as just capturing that charm of Clark Kent and Superman, and the chemistry with Elizabeth closely. That's great. I'm curious to see how they, because they're changing the setting. It's not Metropolis anymore. They went back to Smallville, and there's like some corporate corruption subplot that Lois is gonna get to do. It's like the biggest mistake you can make is just keep Lois as a damsel in distress, which it doesn't look like this show is doing.
Yeah, it looks like with them building up with this character of Morgan Edge, that she's gonna have her own subplot where she does a lot of journal investigating and things like that. She's gonna have her own kind of subplot with that and everything like that, which she has to deal with. And it touches into real life issues of kind of these big companies preying on poor people, and then kind of like using them and putting business in there only to just kind of use them for profit. So which is nice, a real kind of real world element that they're bringing in there. I thought it was a very, very solid pilot. Very good job
Yeah, very strong pilot. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10 just on this first episode alone. I'm curious to see how the rest of the season plays out.
Yeah. All right, people, we're gonna get out of here. That was a good show. Hey, just let know where you all can find us. You can find us on all the good social medias, twitter.com/afternoon-tune, on Facebook, The Afternoon Tune. We're on Instagram, The Afternoon Tune. We're on TikTok, The Afternoon Tune as well. You also, if you want to check us out, send us an email. We're on The Afternoon Tune at gmail.com. Of course, we're on YouTube at youtube.com/afternoon tune. We're also wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, wherever you guys listen to podcasts, we'll be on it. Just search everything The Afternoon Tune. We're also on Twitch, streaming there on Twitch at The Afternoon Tune. Grudge match is going to come up pretty soon. Me and Chayse. He's going to catch the L. He's going to lose some money. Don't forget that in Smash Brothers and in Fighters, Dragon Ball Z. He is going to catch the L, everybody. You got to check out to see that. Don't worry, we're going to be hyping that up. Get back to streaming actually next week because I did buy the capture card, everything like that. So in order to improve the quality. So that's coming this week. So we'll try to stream next Saturday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to be streaming. Chayse, where people can find you.
You can find me at Mr. Chayse Mac on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Mr. MrChayse Where can they find you, Nick?
Find me Twitter, Instagram at Night and Day Nick.
Oh, great. And shout out to all you good people sitting there listening to us ramble on about these movies, about this news. Very, very great of you. So hope you enjoyed listening to the show. Hope you enjoyed it very much so. And to all you people out there, don't forget to always stay tuned.